Okay, hello everyone. My name is Inara, and I am your host, your guide through the information show. So, this channel I am creating because I want to help you write college application essays, college personal statement essays that are going to help you create the strongest possible application to submit to Ivy League institutions, to submit to elite institutions, and or your dream institutions in general. Now, it's important to get some things out clear. So I will be focusing on institutions based in the US, specifically with a focus on liberal arts institutions. I'm just going to move my camera because I don't know if the audio is going to pick up my voice. Um, I'm going to be focusing on liberal arts, like with the framework of applying to liberal arts-based institutions. And that's important because, for example, if you're applying to, say, an institution like Columbia, which to my knowledge refers to itself as a liberal arts college or university, versus say Oxford or Cambridge in the UK. Cambridge and Oxford are more institutions because of how the UK system is, and this is a vast generalization, but to give you a little taste, there's a lot more focus on describing yourself as a strong candidate. So, for example, your personal statements really focus on your academic career, what you want to study, why you want to study that, why do you have merit or the expertise to enter into this field, and demonstrating that thought process. Whereas when you're applying to liberal arts institutions and you're writing a personal statement, overall, again, this is me really being reductive and oversimplifying it, but just to kind of clarify the approach I'm taking, when you're applying to liberal arts institutions, the goal, the admissions officers generally want to know more about who you are, right? Their idea is when you're applying to a liberal arts institution, there are all these other parts of the application, like your transcript, your standardized test scores, your resume, your letters of recommendation that point to the kind of student you are, that point to your academic promise, that point to your career. It's weird to say a career when we are applying, we are children. So that's interesting. But like who you are as a person of like what your caliber is as a student. And the portion of your application that's essay-based is really to learn about who you are. It's to help institutions and admissions officers kind of discern who they are letting in as the whole student, as the full human being. There has been a shift away, as far as I can tell, from using something like all-rounded or, an all-arounder. So, you don't have to have someone, you don't have to be someone who's like if you really love animals and you're into veterinary care, you don't have to be someone who like is into veterinary care and also paints and also spends an equal amount of time volunteering and also spends an equal amount of time doing arts and crafts and also spends an equal amount of time with their family and also spends an equal amount of time doing a job. You can be. You absolutely can be. You totally can be. There's nothing wrong with that. And you don't have to be. The hope is that the admissions officers are trying to get a diverse range of students on campus and they're trying to let in people who are full rounded, as in whoever you are, they want to know the entirety of who you are. And the college app section, the college essays are a place for you to do that. So that's the first norm, is that I'm not going to be focusing too much on institutions like the ones in the UK or institutions in general that are a lot more focused on letting in students that have a particular field. So like if you're applying to a technical institution where you really need to show um, that you have expertise or a desire to further your education in a particular field of studies, particularly like a science, math, or technical field. And the essays part of that application is more to learn why you want to do that rather than like who you are and what has been a challenging time, like more about your personality, your ethics, your philosophy, your way of thinking, your experiences. This channel might not be that helpful for you. If you're into applying to Ivy League institutions, which in general tend to be a lot more liberal arts oriented, This is a good channel. Now, the second thing is, why am I doing this? So two things. First, I'm good at it. I'm really good at it. I was a tutor at the writing center. I attended Harvard University, so that there's that. I applied to to various Ivy League institutions. I got into an Ivy League institution. While at this Ivy League institution, I was employed by the Harvard College Writing Center, yes. And I was a writing tutor there. I worked with students for 3 of the 4 years I was there, both during the academic years and sometimes during the summers. So I worked with a wide range of students enrolled in the university and also students who were there for summer school trying to get into the university. So I had numerous chances to review essays, both academic in nature, but also personal statements. I worked with students applying to grants and fellowship opportunities. And so I have that work experience. I have the personal experience as a student. I have been an interviewer for Harvard University, interviewing students who are trying to get into the undergraduate program. So I've interviewed, I don't know exactly how many people. I'm gonna guess 4 or 5, 6 students. And, I saw how the application looks like. And by doing this, I can no longer do that. That would be a conflict of interest by having this channel, but I have done that. So I have experience on what the back end looks like. I, for at least 2 summers, I think, was a tour guide for the admissions office. So I would, the hundreds of people who were coming on campus during the summer, I was giving them tours, I was taking them around campus, I was answering their questions, I was working with my supervisors during that role were admissions officers. So I got to hear a little bit about the way in which the decision-making process happens. And I was on stage as tour guides. What happens is when you come on campus, there is first an introductory session, and then everyone breaks into groups and goes on tours. But the introductory session is an admissions officer, an admissions counselor, and a student. And the student would be the tour guides that were on shift, and we would rotate. So I got to be on stage numerous times. I was in Agassiz Theater. We were in Annenberg, in Sanders Hall, giving the presentation. So I know this. This is stuff I know. I have been tutoring, mentoring people applying to college. As soon as I got in my first year, there were people who were sending me their essays from my local community. And I have been editing. I have 2 cats who don't get along. And this is getting tense. Okay, if you notice my attention go elsewhere, there's only me at home. But the cats keep it okay. I think we're okay. So, since the first year I got in, I was tutoring students. I would read essays for people who were in my senior year with me in high school. And throughout college, I was meeting with people online, calling them over the phone. They were sending me their essays, and I was editing and giving them feedback. So it's something I've been doing for a long, long time. I'm good at it. I'm good. I have professional experience. I have personal experience. I have community experience. So that's why I'm doing this. And the second is I want to make a livelihood from this. I'm good at it. It's a skill I have to offer. I want to grow this channel, get money through that, monetize this information. So I'm saying that because I believe in transparency. I believe it's important to be honest. I'm making no money from this so far. All the times that I did it, I mean, I was getting paid when I was a tutor at the writing center, but all the other times I was helping people was for free. And I'd like to earn a livelihood from this. So that's something to clear up, and then something else. Oh, it is not lost on me, so I'm gonna just move this because I'm trying to get the charger, that there are a lot of people and institutions, oh my gosh, that are telling all of us how to get into Ivy League institutions. I am but one person. I don't have the secret sauce. I don't know the secret code. I have information. I have thoughts and opinions, informed thoughts and opinions. I'm going to do my best to give you the information that I have. But I'm one person, so be discerning. And I just told you I want to earn my livelihood from this. So I will be saying and doing things in the interest of earning income. So you, as young people, should be discerning about that. And if you don't trust what I'm saying, or if you disagree, I mean, we have to learn how to have civic dialogue in general. So I highly encourage you to, let me know if I've said something wrong, to not trust everything I'm saying. I'm trying to be as clear and trustworthy as possible, but I encourage you to be as discerning as you need to be. So I'm going to do my best to give you honest, fair, clear information. I'm going to give the best information I have. I really want to commit myself to saying things like, if I don't know something, I want to commit to saying I don't know. Um, so I'm just one person, and it's on the internet. So let's be discerning. I'm going to do my best. I want to earn audience members' trust, and also please do your due diligence too. I'm but one person online. So I think those are the things I wanted to say. And let's get into, oh, here's another thing that came up. So let's get into just practicing writing essays. Now, my goal, and I'm a little bit nervous, is to record one video a day. It is August 3rd, 2025 right now. I'm going to record a video a day. I'm not going to spend a lot of time editing it. I'm going to spend no time editing it. I believe I'm on a Zoom account. The captions are being recorded. Bada bing, bada boom, put them up. Um, I don't know if you've seen this clip, but it's of Amy Poehler with, I think, Rashida Jones um, in her new podcast. And she was like, I'm truly giving 25%. She's talking about the patriarchy, saying the amount of times I've seen men do the bare minimum and succeed. Like, I'm in my pajamas. It is what it is. No makeup. Uh, I don't have the cover for the Switch. It's chill. Um, so in order to allow myself to make one video a day, it's going to be real rudimentary, and I'm going to try and post one video a day. And the goal is to always help you write. When I was applying to colleges, I struggled to complete my college essays. They were the things that gave me so much anxiety and stress and confusion, and I didn't know what I should be writing about. I didn't know, like, should I write about this thing? It seems like a loftier and, more impressive thing that I did, or should I write about this thing that feels way simpler and basic but is more true to who I am? And like, should I make this more poetic? Should I try and fit in these like six like ideas, or should I try and elaborate on maybe two or three? It's hard. It's hard to navigate all of this, which is why I want to create content every day to help you write, because it's August 3rd. And that means most of us, I mean, I say most of us, I am not of college age. I graduated in 2019. So I am in my 28th year of life. Yes. And yeah, most of us, as I say, most of the audience members, I'm assuming that y'all are high school students, um, are trying to send in applications either for early admission. I forget when that is. I forget if you have to submit it by like November 1st or something. And then I feel like a lot of applications are due end of December. So we're in the key time. We're in the key slot of working on our college essays. Again, I say our, I'm not, but y'all are working on your college essays. So, yes, it's going to be real rudimentary, real informal. Let's get into it. I'm going to try and just brain dump information. And my goal is that I will, let's see, yep, I will just tell you all information. I want to keep this under an hour. So like every day, if y'all want to listen to it, you can, listen to it in 15-minute chunks, or you can put it on 1.5 speed or 2 times speed, and just get the information downloaded into your brain. Not downloaded, information soaked into your brain. Trying not to use internet lingo and human interactions, because we are not machines. So I'm going to focus on the Common App first, because I know that a lot of institutions request that you apply. Where am I going? Through the Common App, a lot of Ivy League institutions have their application portals there. There's a lot of portals. If y'all want me to look at other portals or other prompts, please put it in the comments. Here's another thing. I don't want to just be taking prompts and writing and showing you my thought process. I will be doing that. I think that could be helpful to have someone verbalize and process verbally what the writing process can be. I think you'll definitely need to find your own flow. We all have different brains. We all have different experiences and ways of thinking. So I will request if you want me to work on your essay, if you want to send your essay, I think I just I think the email is theinformationshow.create@gmail.com. So email it there, put your essay in, say you consent to me reviewing your essay. Don't put your name, don't put where you live. I don't, protect your privacy. Um, Honor system, please, like, if you email me one essay, don't email me like 17 of the essay drafts you're working on. Let's get a little bit of diversity. I am offering this for free on the internet. Let's stick to the honor code on that. Okay, let's do this. Oh, I'm not signed in. Let's see if this is work. The information show.create@gmail.com. Excuse me. I have the password written. See, no editing. It is what it is. Da, 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 da. If you haven't gotten your notebook or your computer ready, now's the time, my friends. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Next. Oh, well, these are fascinating. These are the things I guess I'm working on. The info show. What is this? Business plan. Well, clearly you can see I've been trying to make it big on YouTube for a while. Okay, moving on. Okay, the info show. Yikes. Um, 8/3/2025. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Exit, exit. Okay. The prompts. Here is the full set of essay prompts for 2025 to 2026. My understanding is the word count for these are 650 words. Students of this year who are applying to colleges, tell me if that is wrong. Yes, let me know if that is wrong, but that's the understanding I'm working with. First one. So I have pulled this page up before, but I haven't actually read the prompt. So I'm processing it. I'm reading it out loud. I'm going to pick a prompt that I feel moved by, and then we'll go from there. The first one, some students have a background, identity, interest, or talent that is so meaningful, they believe their application would be incomplete without it. If this sounds like you, then please share your story. Okay, so I think it's important to note, like, this stuff doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to have a terrible, let's just copy all of these, like a terribly challenging time. You don't have to feel like it's miserable. Okay, if there's anything I want to offer, it's like you don't have to be miserable. So I'm just gonna brain dump. My cats are with me. They're looking absolutely adorable. I'm like, cats. I love cats. Didn't have pets until I was an adult. That's another thing. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm a student right now. I'm gonna write from my real experience to help like, model y'all writing from your real experiences. So I know these are college app essays, but I'm not gonna like pretend to be in the mind. of my 18-year-old self, that's just too hard. And also I feel like I wouldn't do a good job. It would be very fake. So that's why I'm writing things like I'm an adult. I'm writing things like I didn't have pets until I was an adult. Oh, I'm an adult. Okay. Cats. Didn't have pets until I was an adult. I love cats. I have been see okay, this is another thing. You don't want to try, I don't want to try too smart. Try to be sounding too smart. Like it's no pressure. I was gonna write, I have been carnivorous. No, I have been eating meat all my life. My cats are the reason I am trying to become vegetarian. I'm just gonna say veggie eater. Um, it's hard. I don't. I still eat meat, still eat chicken, beef, other animals. I want to only eat veggies because of my cat's eyes. Um, yeah, when I look at their eyes, I'm like, oh, wow. Like it was after I got my first cat that I was looking at birds and I was like, oh my God, my first cat, Sugar. I was like, this bird has eyes just like Sugar. Like it made me see animals in a different way. I felt like it opened me up. So that's that. Other identities. Okay, so things that pop up for me. I identify as a woman. I identify as an immigrant. I identify as the eldest daughter. But like none of them really identify as Muslim and Quaker. Um, but I'm really, I don't know. Right now, the Quaker identity is something I'm really processing, like peace, no wars, um, ethical, like being ethical. Yeah, that comes up. Um, I have different illness, mental illnesses. So anxiety, depression, and what I've been doing is beading. I've been making, I don't have anything on me right now. I could have showed y'all, but make beads to process and be more, childlike. That comes up. Um, I'm like just brain dumping. I don't, I'm like, what's rising for me right now? What's coming up? Interest or talent? Okay. I love to talk. I am a yapper. I am not, I sometimes gossip. I try not to gossip. A gossiper and a yapper are different. I love talking to people and learning about people and figuring out how they live their lives and why they make the decisions they do. Sometimes I think about becoming a counselor or a psychoanalyst. I really like the show Couples Therapy because Dr. Orna is good at her job and is empathetic, question mark there. Um, and I think I could do a good job. I love talking to people. Yappers are peacemakers. This is something I believe. This is something I really believe. People who talk, not gossip, people who talk to other people who like talking and conversating, if that's a word, talking to people. They're the glue that builds community, is what I believe. Um, so far, just quick, like I'm just noticing this yapping and the cats. Like the cats came up first. It's shorter because I think I was trying to like really get the essence of it and the talking. So those are the things that come up for me. I think if I wrote right now, that feels the most authentic to who I am. Okay. The other one, the second is the lessons we take from obstacles we encounter can be fundamental to later success. Recount a time when you faced a challenge, setback, or failure. How did it affect you, and what did you learn from the experience? Okay, so one thing that I'm trying to model right now is, again, it doesn't have to be hard. Prioritize authenticity over looking, sounding, demonstrating intelligence or being this real impressive person. What I have learned is that when I wrote my essays, the essays that I wrote trying to be this really like impressive student never felt moving. Like when I look back at it, it just felt like it was fine. It didn't feel honestly that it was really who I was. And it was the essays I wrote that were really true to who I am, that felt really like they resonated with me, that this was important to me. Um, those really I still feel moved by. And I don't have any proof of this, so if you I ask you to trust me on my word, but there was one essay I wrote that was about my family, and that was real vulnerable for me. And I pause because I don't know if I don't want people to have to feel like you have to force vulnerability. Like, again, this is not about like forcing yourself. It's about being who you are. So, like, vulnerability, I don't know if it's always being who you are, because sometimes you can be who you are and like not let down all your guards and be as vulnerable. So, I want to respect everyone's different, way of being in the world. But I guess more than vulnerable, like it felt really true to me. If it was really like that was me. That was who I was. And it was the essay that felt like hardest to write because it was so honest about who I am, but it was also the easiest to write in that same way. So that's why when I first would look at college app essays and would start writing it myself, like I would go to things like, oh, this has to be about you know, identities that are given a lot of weight in our current cultural conversations. And it could be. It could be. It really, really could be. I do not want to take away from that at all. Like, for example, I had hair that was really long and I shaved it all off about a month ago. That is something that's really personal to me and about gender and beauty and performance. And patriarchy and eldest daughter, all of these things, and I could write about it. In this particular moment, it's not rising for me. Like it's an important part of who I am and what I've experienced. It didn't rise for me. The cats and the yapping rose for me. So like maybe if I came back to this prompt some other time, it would be the hair stuff. It would be about gender and these like quote these more these identities that are considered more salient at times. And also, like, I really want to model being true to who you are, because if you are not true, it's just going to make this process harder. Honestly, like being true is, I think, generally a good thing because it helps us, be better human beings, and be kinder to each other. And also for this particular exercise, it helps you write a better essay. I feel, again, this is just me, but this is a good time. The reason why I like the college app essays because it encourages students to reflect. It encourages y'all to take a moment and reflect on who you are. And that's, I think, ultimately what the college counselors are interested in. They want to know who you are in a more personal and true and authentic way. So that's what you're noticing. Like, you're like, what the heck? This is like cats. Are you freaking serious? This is ridiculous. This is like not at all meaningful. It is to me. It might not be to you. And I might, on another day come back to this and write a draft of something that on surface, like to more people feels or looks more meaningful. But I know that I could write a meaningful essay because the topic feels true to me. I think if I sat down and forced myself to write about my hair and gender and beauty and performance and how I felt about that growing up and like all the internal dialogue and all these things, it's important stuff, but right now in this moment, as I'm working on it, I don't think I'd write an essay that would come across with that feeling that I feel unless I was actually embodying it. Okay, so I was going to say that because these lessons and obstacles, I'm like, dang, there's been some hard lessons and obstacles. Not all of them are rising for me in this moment. Like I can, say a lot of things, but like one thing that comes up, people pleasing, struggle with that. I want everyone to like me, and when people don't like me, I feel very sad and confused, struggle struggling in social situations. Um, the people pleasing also, like, I want to be someone who has morals. I believe in a moral code. I believe there's I believe in morality. When I am trying to people please, I sacrifice my morals. I feel like I am less I have less integrity. So that's been important, and, like, so I wanna just think about, so these are the obstacles I encounter. Is there a moment where I encountered this, and what did I learn? Well, hmm, see, it's good to stop and reflect. I encourage you, while I'm going through this, for you to also, um, be writing down your own ideas and just kind of, like, letting it flow. This does not have to be hard. I would argue it shouldn't be hard, it should flow. I think that is a healthy and ultimately a better way to do it. Hmm. I'm just thinking about the smaller moments of me asking for what I like or disagreeing. So I'm like, team meetings when I think we need to, so in my professional work, because I am not 18, when I think we need to delay a project. I'm thinking of a particular project, or like at restaurants, asking for, like substitutions or add-ons. Like that's a big thing for me when I do that. Um, oh my God, returning items. That feels like that feels like failure to me. Especially if it's clothes or like electronics, or appliances or something, and they don't work. I just have this fear that someone thinks I'm trying to bamboozle them, get one over on them, or cheat the system, and like, or that they think that, or that I messed up the expensive thing, you know, um, and they won't like me, or it's the return process is long. So yeah, I'm just noticing I'm typing a lot, like a lot is coming up. Bigger feelings are coming up here, like this return process. I'm like, that might be something I explore. Because it's flowing a lot more. I'm like recounting the texture of these experiences and the feelings and the difficulty and like the examples. And I really feel like I can write it and it's true to who I am. And that to me really is a great example of people pleasing and like being okay with being inconvenient to people as long, and I don't want to annoy the salesperson, and I want them to like me, and I don't want to be stupid. Returning an item is like in my head, I think that I made a stupid mistake. Okay, so this seemed to pop up for me. Let me see. I don't know how long we've been talking. I got no clue. Okay, well, I'll just keep going. Maybe, oh my goodness, 7 prompts? Wowzers. Okay, processing, processing, processing. The third prompt. Reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. What prompted your thinking? What was the outcome? Okay, so right now, my understanding is that, students, tell me in the comments. I'm just adjusting. That out of all these prompts, one of them will be you at least write one of them, and then maybe there's options to submit 2 more. Like, I don't think we write 7 essays. Clearly, it's been a long time since I've done this. When you submit a common application, how many essays do you write? I'm trying not to use AI. I'm trying not to use. This is from Common App. What does this say? Wow, 1 million students apply to more than 1,000 Common App member colleges. That's a lot of students. Gather materials. Okay. Well, this is great. Everyone should check this out. Add colleges. Engage supporters. Oh, okay. It's like engage supporters. What does that mean? Okay, so personal essay. So that's my understanding is you write one personal essay. Writing requirements. Okay, so yeah, that's true. Colleges can have different essay prompts. Plan essays. Okay, well, this is great. Common App personal essay. So I feel like you select one students. Please correct me if I'm wrong. You select one of these prompts to be your personal essay. So again, that can make the stakes feel real high because you're like, what is the one thing I can say or like write to really show who I am? Like I really get that. Like it's important to name that having one, like choosing one of these prompts as your personal as the prompt for your personal essay can make it feel real challenging. And again, let's practice some breathing. Let's center ourselves. Let's chill out for a second. It's okay. You are a cool person. You're a great person. I believe that. We are all great people. I really believe that. You don't have to try to be great. You already are great. So you're just trying to bring forth the things already inside of you, inside your heart, inside your brain, inside your life experiences. And that's why part of the way I discern is what rises for me as the most important, most compelling, most true, and like in some ways I say this like easy to write about because it's so true to who I am, you know? So this is great because I'm noticing it says colleges can either make the can make the personal essay optional or required. It's required. It's required. Write the essay. Write the essay. Write the essay. Anything's optional without this personal essay? Nope. Write the essay. If anything, no matter how strong your application is, you could have gotten a perfect score on your SAT or ACT. You could have gotten, like, you are a student that got all 100s in all your numerous IB or AP classes, or you've done like 18 gazillion sports and you're like the triple, quadruple international champions, like, and still, and still, and still, and still, and still. And if you think you're not a great writer, and still, and still, and still, and still, write this essay. That is my recommendation. It's an opportunity for you to show the counselors who you are. Very rarely, again, this is my understanding, very rarely do I find that the college essay is used against a student. I think the way I understand the college application process to be is you are not being detracted points, like, oh, you got a C plus your, certain year in this class of AP such and such, AP bio, -5 points. Like it's not the process is more about identifying strong aspects of who you are and again in admitting the whole person, admitting the full candidate. So even if you feel like you have the strongest application, your letters of recommendations are amazing, you've got great scores, and you're like, I don't need the essay or I don't want to write the essay, I'm not a great writer, I would still encourage you to take this opportunity to write the essay. I think unless you write an essay that like shows you're some kind of terrible human being, which I feel like most people aren't doing because you're trying to get people to think like, you're trying not to be like, and this is how I'm evil. Um, I don't think it'll be used against you. So yeah, colleges make it optional, required, write it, write it, write it, required. Okay. And then there's this college specific questions. Yeah, so this is something I feel like we can do later on. Like as y'all send me questions, um, as you email, because what is the email? Yeah, the information show.create@gmail.com. Hello. Hi, the information. Hello. Send it to me. Send me some of the prompts from specific colleges you're applying to that are they tend to be shorter responses. So whereas the Common App personal essays might be 650 words maximum, the shorter responses, I think I've seen some that are like less than 100 words or some that are like no more than 300 or 250. So send those over. And then there's writing supplements. Yeah, so this is again something we should explore later on about like what additional prompts, because there's some universities that will have an entirely different set of prompts for you to go through and like write. So you might end up submitting personal statements. Like you might have your Common App essay, and then you might have like an additional essay of a similar length that you send because a college has made that part of their application as asking you for a writing supplement. And then I also want to say, not to like add in more complications, but this is something to explore. The essay that I wrote about my family that I got, my admissions counselor sent me a postcard about it. And when I met him in person, he was like, that was really moving. I don't remember, and I want to say I don't think I sent it to all the schools I applied to. Um, so if you feel like the goal is as you're writing, there will be different essays that you've written that you're really proud of, that you really feel speak to who you are. And if you feel like, okay, say you're applying to Harvard and you really want to demonstrate as a candidate to Harvard that you're like more of your personality, right? More of your what you believe. You might want to send like I'm pretty sure in the Common App portal. I wonder if I can make a Common App portal. I probably can. We'll explore that later. A lot of things for later. This is the first video. You can you can submit different, like you can switch out the essay you choose to be your Common App essay. Um, I think about that, like MIT is not an Ivy League institution and it is an elite institution. So if I'm applying to MIT, in high school, I did a lot more things that were more um, the social sciences, arts, and humanities based. So maybe I want to show MIT how I am during stressful situations. Like I have this analytical part of me. I have the capacity to make really ethical yet highly rational decision making. And there's an essay I write about that, or that like demonstrates that. Then that might be my main Common App personal statement for MIT. So I do think you can switch it out. So that can be something you're thinking about, right? Like it's not like I think too often when students are applying to colleges, my cat is laying on the windowsill, soaking the sun, and she looks so beautiful. Um, Too often when students are applying to colleges, I found that I was really worried about what do college admissions officers want to hear from me? What can I say to impress them? How do I want to get them to like me? You have to remember it's not possible for college admissions officers to speak to every single student. There's just too many students applying to so many institutions. So this is a way to have a conversation. This is a way to exchange information about who you are. This is you sharing, this is what I want you to know about me. So think about that. Think about what do you want various institutions to know about you? And I do encourage you, like no one institution is the same. Different locations, different requirements, different faculty members, different programs, different culture and community and history, different student body size, like some are really large campuses, some are much smaller, different residential life. So I encourage you to, as you are researching different institutions, kind of have that in the back of your mind as you're writing your essays, because that will help you discern, that will help you that will help you understand what you want to share about yourself to each of these institutions. Okay, I feel like what I needed from this page, I got. So I'm going to go back to this. Boop, boop, boop. I can't quite. Okay. The bar from Zoom is so much, is so big. I can't go to my tab. Oh, there it go. It went up. Okay. Ah, okay. Well, we'll figure it out. The next one. Reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. What prompted your thinking? What was the outcome? See, this is a great prompt to highlight the point that not every institution, given its history, will have the same reception to challenging ideas. So right now, where I go to my mind is like Berkeley as an institution has, as far as I can tell in its history, it's been the site of a lot of racial justice movements, a lot of labor union and workers' rights movements, a lot of free speech free speech and academic institution movements. Like Berkeley has a wide ranging legacy of welcoming particularly student disagreements, student civic discussions, student civil disobedience, student protest, you know? So I might write about a moment where I was a really stark, you know, I really was contrarian. I was really saying things that I disagreed with, and I was really bold about that. And there might be another institution that doesn't share that legacy like Berkeley has, where their legacy of disagreement is a lot more like we want to have conversations in the classroom. We want to have, like their more culture is like, uh, I really don't like this phrase, but just for the point of it, like like who wants to be devil's advocate? The devil doesn't need an advocate, first of all. Um, that phrase is often used to say really terrible things, like I believe in equal rights, and it's like, well, let's be devil's advocate. It's like, no, we don't need to argue about why oppression is bad and justice is good. Anywho, like there might be institutions that are more about how to have disagreements and how to model academic robust academic conversation, right? Like very much like, and Berkeley does that too, but like if you are someone who is engaged in protests or movements or is really bold with their ideas, writing a personal statement that's more about that might be a place to have it be shined and celebrated for an institution like Berkeley. Whereas it might not with an institution that doesn't have that legacy. Again, I don't think, see, this is where I feel a little bit bad. This is where I feel icky. Overall, institutions, what am I trying to say? I want to put a, I want to acknowledge something. Institutions ultimately want you to be a part of the institution and like make a good name for the institution. So, with this particular question of reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea, you're an idea that I have challenged and tried to understand is what is the value of an elite education? What are the ways in which it retains barriers to equal access to education? What are the ways it makes rich folks richer, poor folks poor? What are the ways in which it continues to oppress people? What are the ways in which my alma mater, Harvard University, especially Harvard Law School, not just benefited from, but like its entire existence is based on the fact of the institution of enslavement, right? If you are bringing these things up, you do have to understand that admissions counts, not every admissions counselor and not every institution welcomes that level of conversation and disagreement. There are some institutions that not just are not ready, not even they're not ready. People are ready. I think people have the capacity. They choose not to have these conversations And if I wrote my essay to Harvard about what it was like in my was it my senior English class, reading Toni Morrison's Beloved for the first time, and then learning about how Harvard Law School, I learned this later, but writing it from my perspective now, like how to like revealed a commemorative sculpture about the legacy of enslavement on Harvard Law School's campus, and it was a freaking rock and it didn't feel like it was doing any due justice. If I write that, the counselors, I don't know how they'll take it. In that way, they might not admire my openness to have this conversation. So I don't think that's right. I don't think that's fair, but I think it's important to name that that is something like how much risk you take in being who you are. It is a calculated decision. And yeah, that's important to say. And I ultimately, I don't know I think here's the thing too. I could write about that if I wanted to, but there's a lot of different ways to write about it. And there might be a way to write about it that is a lot more flattering of the institution than is critical, is a lot more reflective than is clear and justice minded, is a lot more um, showcasing my press media skills than is my commitment to transparent and open conversations around terrible things. I.e., I might say something like, I'm so proud. I would be so proud to apply to Harvard University, to be a student that can continue to contribute my voice and my experiences to this wrestling of a question with the idea of how do we acknowledge the perils of our history and where we have came to build a more just and equitable future. I think that would be a lot more welcome than I find my role to break down the walls from within. Institutions are inherently gatekeepers of class, privilege, knowledge, and my role will be to eliminate or do as much damage to these barriers as possible so that I can let our society be a freer society. And that's the role I envision myself taking on. And it happened when I questioned these things in a class I took in high school, and I'm going to keep on questioning it when I get to Harvard. I don't know if that would be as welcome. Both are coming from both seem like they're coming from the same place, but the way that, like, I would argue the first way I said it, the more flattering way is a dilution, but it might be the calculated decision I take, which is messed up, 100 billion percentage points messed up. But naming that, institutions, yeah, it's like a job interview. You don't go in there saying like, you suck, give me the job. There's all these ways to say it to showcase that, the institution should take a risk on you and hire you. And in this case, let you in. So, yeah, I feel like I've been talking for a while. I am a yapper, but the Zoom thing didn't go away. So let's see. Let's go. Okay. So here's something. We just talked about Harvard, monuments, legacy of enslavement, gatekeeping. So these are things I've questioned, but it's also like this prompt is asking me kind of like a full example. So what did I do? Right? Like it's not just what is an idea you had just in your head, but it was also like what is the outcome? So I could say the idea that I had that I questioned and challenged and what prompted it, but like what was the outcome? In this case, I think the outcome was more personal growth, becoming more aware of the harms of enslavement and trying to be more open and talk about it in my daily life. I don't want to be scared. I was gonna put it in quotations, but like scared or shy about talking about enslavement. You know, that's led me to having this conversation where I'm trying to build a YouTube channel, and I'm like, you know what? No, we gotta talk about it. Bloop. That's what came up. Okay, so oh, that's what came up for me. So what we've done today, it seems like we might not have done a lot, but we've done a lot of, I've done a, I, I don't know how it's been for you, but I have done a lot of processing. I'm gonna do stop share. I have done, okay, I have done a lot of processing. So what I recommend y'all do, if writing these personal statements is a really big, scary time, it's okay. Deep breath. It's gonna be fine. It really is. You got this. You really do. It's so okay. One step at a time. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be so freaking super easy. Open up the prompts. Open up the common app prompts. Even if you think that you're going to have to apply, like, even if the institutions you want to apply to are through a different portal or the prompts might be different. A lot of the times when you write essays, because they're responding to these prompts that are more about getting a general sense of who you are, these vast, sometimes abstract, moral, philosophical ideas of who you are, you can often write something for a prompt and then, rework it into another prompt. So you don't have to like worry about, I need to write things that are like highly efficient and usable and I can, put it in multiple places. We'll get there. Open up the prompts, open up the Common App prompts. I didn't even go through all of them. Go through the first three. Go through, or maybe, because you won't be talking out loud to your Zoom account to record this video, you could do all of them at once, but just brain dump and read it a few times and then like just have it kind of be sitting and like simmering in your head and be thinking about it. And like when you get an idea, when something rises for you, like make a note of it, you know? Brain dump. This is going to, it seems like, like I didn't write it, my head goes to a lot of like the internal dialogue I have is like a lot of self-criticism and a lot of doubt. So my brain starts to say things like, but you didn't write anything. You didn't make it sound pretty. You haven't written anything that you can actually submit. You talked about in that first prompt about your cats, or in this third prompt about like the institution and its like avoidance of the legacy of enslavement. Like, how are you going to write about that? How are you going to make sense of that? It's okay. Slow and steady. We got this. Just start with brain dumping, just writing down, brainstorming what rises for you, what comes up for you that feels like a genuine response. Don't focus on sounding like the most impressive person in the world. Focus on sounding like yourself because you are impressive. And the more you sound like yourself, the more opportunities you create for people to be moved and impressed by you. Okay. Remember, one video a day. So it seems like we might not have done a lot, but we're going to do a lot, I promise. Take a break. And like your speed might be way different from my speed. Go with your speed. Do what feels most natural. But I'm trying to go intentionally slowly so that we can make space and talk about all these different things and all the, questions and comments that come up. If you want me to review essays you have, send it to theinformationshow.create@gmail.com. Okie dokie. Until tomorrow. Bye.